Good morning, everyone. My name is Praveen Buyuru. I'm working as a senior QA specialist for Lonza Biologics in UK. I'm here to give you some information regarding different career prospects available for registered pharmacists in India, in UK. So I'm trying to assimilate the knowledge of my past 10 years journey in UK and present it to you so that any one of you who is actually planning or intending to pursue a career in UK get a benefit out of it. So hopefully it makes an advantage to few of you. And move to the next slide. A quick update about myself. So I completed my bachelor's in pharmacy from Bapatla College of Pharmacy in the years 2004 to 2008. So once I completed my B Pharm, I got recruited into Dr. Reddy's. It's a campus recruitment. So Dr. Reddy's came to our facility when I was in year four, the beginning of year four, and I got selected. And once I completed my B Pharm, I immediately went into Dr. Reddy's, and I worked in the production department as a executive, senior executive. So what is the role of a senior executive? So I had this opportunity to look at the commercial packaging lines, fast commercial packaging lines like blister packaging, bottle packaging. So these are very fast, bulk packaging lines, which are highly validated and sophisticated. So there are machinery like, Boss Pack, which is so one of the fastest packaging filling line actually in the world at that point of time. So I had this opportunity to work with different technicians, do the in-process checks, work with QA regarding area clearances and all. It was very valued experience I had. That was the first insight I had into the industry. Yeah, so I worked over a year with Dr. Reddy's, and at that point of time, I was like every other BPharm student like you. I was in this dilemma, like whether I need to actually continue or take a career in the industry or actually complete my MPharm masters and get into academics so that I can upgrade my degree. Uh, I don't know, for some reason, to be honest, I thought I'll pursue my masters in UK. The main reason was I thought the value of an MPharm degree adds to my career. So the amount of time and money I spend for an MPharm degree in India and the returns I get, returns in the sense, the experience, the salaries I earn in India is far less when compared to the salaries which I may get abroad. So that was the main rationale behind my decision at that point of time. And yes, I completed my IELTS and I came to UK in the year 2010 and completed my master's in pharmaceutical analysis in Kingston University. And after 2011, I started working for a contract manufacturing organization in UK. They have different licenses like clinical trial license, commercial license, medical device license. I was working as a quality assurance representative for that facility. I worked for exciting projects with that facility, like brand new products on the market at that point of time, uh, like ospemfene and all. And I was the dedicated QA person, so I had a lot of insight into what the expectations from regulatory authorities and all, uh, and different aspects when it comes to a new product development and new product introduction into the market. There are many uh, things which are actually get involved and you need to consider. So yes, so I was part of many exciting projects in PCI, and I worked for 6 years with PCI Pharma, and then I moved to LM Manufacturing Limited in UK again as a senior QA representative. And LM Manufacturing is a brand new facility. It was established by Indian investors in UK, So the owners are actually Indians, and they had these resources, and they had some experience in the past anyways. So they are not entirely new to this business. So when I actually joined this facility, it's like the facility was being built up. So the roof was built up, and HVAC and everything was being set up and everything. And the facility didn't have any license. So after I joined, we went through all the procedure of actually implementing procedures for quality assurance, validation, engineering, production, approving all the SOPs. It was only two senior QA people. It was me and my manager on site, and we did a lot of work in developing all these procedures for that facility. And we were the front end contributors for the first MHR inspection for that facility, which was successfully uh, done. And once the site got this approval, it went into commercialization. And then I moved to Lonza Biologics, my current role as a senior QA representative, senior QA specialist. And if most of you are actually following this crazy news about COVID-19 vaccines and all, the past 2 days we had this news about a vaccine from Moderna, which is 95% efficient. So that vaccine is being manufactured by Lonza Biologics. It's being developed and manufactured by Lonza Biologics. So this is a brief introduction about me. So if you take a cue out of my career progression over the past 10 years in UK, the initial 2 years I had in doctorates actually triggered my career in UK. And I had this very good opportunity to progress in different aspects. So going to the next slide. So what are the different career prospects available for pharmacists from India in UK? First one, registered pharmacist. If you're really passionate about becoming a registered pharmacist in UK, the requirements are you have to pass IELTS with a minimum of 7 band in each of the 4 modules: writing, listening, speaking, writing, listening, speaking, and reading. Sorry. Yes, so writing, listening, speaking, and reading. So you need to get band 7 in each of these 4 modules. And to be honest, it's not an easy task. I see many people who tried to do this multiple times, and very few were actually successful. So and that's not your final step. So once you get IELTS 7 band, you need to complete a OSPAP course, which is for a year. And OSPAP actually stands for Overseas Pharmacist Assessment. And so 1 year you're spending a lot of money for OSPAP course. And you have maybe around 5 to 6 universities in UK which offer this course. Yeah, so once you complete that course, you'll get this registered pharmacist status in UK. To be honest, yeah, they're decently paid jobs, but I know many pharmacists they prefer to work for the industry because the growth and prospects in the pharmaceutical industry are far better when compared to working as a registered pharmacist. And going to the market itself. So because we live in this, what do you call, smartphones generation, most of you may have all this information available at your fingertips. Like you must be knowing by now that the top 3 markets in the world are US, Europe, and Japan. So US contributes to about 40% of the total pharmaceutical revenue worldwide. So 40% of the total revenue. So that's really huge. So after that, you have around 25% from Europe. And Germany and UK are the top 2 players in Europe. So that indicates that UK is a very good place to be after US when it comes to selecting a career for pharmaceutical industry. So pharmaceutical industry in UK comprises of CMOs, which is contract manufacturing organizations, which deliver from basic solid or oral dosage forms like your tablets, capsules, to advanced therapies like cell and gene therapy. You need to also make a note that we are now slowly moving away from this basic dosage forms like tablets and capsules. The industry is not really focusing, so you're not getting more money or funds for research into these areas. Now we have more money getting into cell and gene therapies, advanced therapies, which should, so you can preempt what the industry is going to be after 5 years. So you can see a lot of developments in that areas. And across all these industries, you have different types of graduate roles. So if you're coming to UK as a student to pursue a master's, so once you complete your master's, you'll have graduate internship roles available across all these industries. They call it a summer placement or winter placement, whatever. So you get different types of internship roles for 6 months to 9 months to 1 year. So you can get into a company as an intern, try to gain some experience. Most of these are actually paid. And once you get that experience, you can then upgrade your CV and you can apply for real-time vacancies. So what are the different types of roles available in the industry, pharmaceutical industry in UK? So most of these roles are still the same, which are available in India as well. But there is a slight difference in how you see different vacancies in UK. So not every vacancy has the same value. So it depends on how you want to place yourself in the market. So if you're actually interested in pharmaceutical analysis and you have maybe 1 or 2 years of analyst experience in India, and then you came to UK to pursue a master's, so you can straight away after your master's, you can get a analyst job, whether it's in QC or AD, analytical development. This is because there is a shortage in this skill set right now in UK, and this will be the same case for at least the next few years. So a minimum level of experience, and you'll be recruited into the industry immediately after your master's. This is one strategy. And most of these roles have a decent pay and they have good career prospects as well. So yeah, this is how it works for QC and AD. Coming to any production oriented roles, like I already said in my previous slide, we are moving away from a world of simple dosage forms to advanced dosage forms now. So if you have any production experience in India, say for example in tablets or capsules manufacturing, it's very unlikely that you'll end up in a very good job in UK with that experience. It's of not real value. But if you have any experience in steriles, biologics, or cell and gene therapy in India, your profile will be at the front end for any production jobs related to these areas in UK. And maybe in the next few years, the Western world like US and UK and Europe, they're going to have advanced therapies. They'll be focusing more on advanced therapies because generics are everywhere now. So the world is saturated. So all the developing nations have many companies, playing as generics, and Western world cannot compete with them with regards to this generic. So they are more focusing on now advanced therapies, which is anyways the right thing to do. And yes, so moving to validation. In UK, in the industry, you have many validation roles, which are highly paid. uh, to be honest, some of the best jobs you have in validation, actually, to be honest. And the reason behind that is there are very, very less people with the skill set in the market. So, say for argument's sake, you completed your bachelor's in pharmacy and you worked in a validation role for 1 or 2 years in the industry in India, and then you came to UK to pursue your master's. Um, you'll seriously end up in a very good job in UK because this skill set is going to be of high, will be in high demand for that, for at least next 5 to 6 years. Uh, and also, if you're actually following the latest regulatory trends in the industry, pharmaceutical industry, there's a lot of focus on data integrity, and the regulators are really worried about falsification of medicines, like fake medicines getting into your approved supply chain. They want to prevent all these things. So what they are actually trying to do is they are trying to move towards automation. So if they're actually trying to move towards automation, there's a huge scope for software validation, CSV, which is computer system validation. Even in India right now, these jobs are really highly paid. They have huge prospects, and it's the same with the UK as well. So software validation, when you hear the term, you may think, what is software, what is validation and all, but these are not really new, or these are not out of the box for a pharmacist who is actually coming from India. We at some point we know all the basic principles, but we don't try to apply. But when we get into the industry, we understand that okay, this is not really entirely new to me. So I already know these principles. So yeah. So coming to roles within QA and regulatory, if you're interested in a career in quality assurance or regulatory, there are many good roles, even in these two departments in the industry in UK. But the key skills they'll be looking for these jobs is good communication skills, because for both these departments, interpretation of guidance is of utmost importance. So what is interpretation of guidance? So you have regulatory guidance coming from EMA, European Medical Agency, or US FDA, or Orange Guide from MHRA or ICH. So if you don't interpret the guidance in the right way, if you misinterpret it, it leads to a lot of problems. So what they expect, or the skill, the attributes they look for people coming into these roles, they need to have very strong communication skill, and they need to interpret the guidance exactly. So these are the attributes they'll be looking for this department. And moving towards clinical research, there are many jobs in clinical research as well. So the clinical research, science in clinical research is at an advanced stage in Europe when compared to India or any other developing nation. The reason behind that is the strong ethical guidance they are bound to follow here. So this industry is very robust, and there are many roles. So within clinical research, say if you complete a SAS certification, and maybe you work on one project which takes up to 3 or 4 months, you can put your CV in the job market in UK for a programmer role, and you'll definitely get a role, because there is a scarcity already, and it's a good area to explore. And similarly, there are roles like clinical research associates in the clinical research domain. So clinical research associate, what does it mean? It's more of a quality assurance role in clinical research area. So there is a site where they're actually doing a clinical trial, There are many subjects. They're recruiting subjects for trial, phase one, phase two, phase three. So a research associate is more of a quality assurance person who will ensure that they're actually following all the ethical guidelines with regards to recruitment of that subject, uh, giving the medicine to the subject, and acquiring data and processing the data from the subject. So this is more of quality assurance role. So this is not very different to what we actually learn in pharmacy. So we know what is an adverse event. So we are very familiar with the terminology. So, and these jobs are also, they're well paid jobs. And uh, yes, so I would say it has good career prospects in this area as well, in clinical research. And for students who are actually interested in academics, so if you want to pursue a career in academics in UK, you can come to UK to pursue a master's. Once you complete your master's, there are different opportunities available for interested students from most of the universities with regards to PhD placements, and you'll be working on funded projects. And these projects and roles are also well paid. So these are different career prospects you can expect in UK. Move to the next slide. Right. So yeah. So I thought I'll share a few things which you need to consider even before considering an abroad career. This is again from my experience. I wanted to share it with you. I've seen many people or friends or colleagues, and I'm trying to collate all the stories and put these slides in front of you. So basically, it's not going to be a simple journey. So most of the people actually think, yeah, I select an abroad career. I'm going to complete my masters. I'm going to land up in a job, and I'm going to start saving money, and then, I'm going to improve my quality of life or whatever. But no, life is not going to be so simple. There are many people who had to face failures, or they had to, you know, go back to the country, and they had to take the financial risks. Um, but if you are well prepared, not well prepared, I would say prepared, because unless you're really blindfolded and you enter into the abroad market, uh, prepared, at least you understand which university you're actually applying for, what course you're trying to read, and what are your career prospects. So what type of job role you want to land up after your masters. So this is called preparedness. So if you're prepared, it's not really risky, but consider that, the other side of the coin as well before you actually even try to pursue an abroad career. And if you're in your third year of pharmacy, BPharm, so it's high time that you actually come to this conclusion whether you want to end up in a career abroad. And if so, you'll have to prepare for GRE, TOEFL, and IELTS, etc., as per your preferred destination country choice. And yeah, so if you prefer US, yeah, so you obviously go for GRE and TOEFL, and if it's any other European country or Australia, whatever, it's IELTS. And one of the most important aspect for an abroad career is English, your language proficiency skills. So you'll always need to remember that once you actually compete with a native speaker abroad, the one thing which they are going to, I would say, beat you is their language. So when a recruiter comes or sees a native speaker, and as the communication style and proficiency is very important. So you may have a very good technical knowledge. You may have very good grades in academics, but you cannot prove that in front of a recruiter if you cannot speak with them. So yes, so this is a very important skill. So you don't compromise on this. If you're not good at it, it's fine. None of us are actually good at it. We have to work on it. It takes time, but we have to work and then do a honest evaluation and then proceed further. And before you actually select any abroad destination country, most important thing you need to do is read all the immigration policies of that country. What does the immigration policy of that country actually say? So yes, you're going as a student to that country. So what is the opportunity you have once you complete your masters? How many years is this particular immigration policy giving us, to look for a job? And what is the way we can actually get the settlement status in this country? If a country is trying to make your life very harder for settlement status, I would say you shouldn't even consider that country, because after all the effort you put, maybe after 10 or 15 years, and if you don't get an opportunity to settle in that country, that's not the right place to be. So I completed I came to UK in 2010 and this is 2020, and I have the right to be a citizen in UK now. I have a settled status, and I can become a citizen if I want to. So yeah, this is what we actually expect. So if you plan for countries like Singapore, Malaysia, you'll never get a settled status in Singapore and Malaysia. No. So the rules are very different and difficult for overseas person in these countries. So all you can do, you can work in those countries, make a career, get into savings, but at some point you'll have to go back to your country. And don't depend on agencies for this information. They may give you biased information. So not all the agencies are actually honest in their approach. So don't ask this information from the agency. You have all this information is in public domain. You can easily get onto it, read it, understand it, and make your own assessment. And first, so yeah, so in my previous slides, I said you have an opportunity to become a registered pharmacist or get into industry role or get into clinical research. Yeah, and you can also get into academics. But if you're actually interested in a career in industry, which is more promising from my perspective, because I'm working for the industry or past 10, 12 years, so I'm more industry pro person. So I would say a career in industry is more promising. And if it is the same with you, then I would say try to get on to different regulatory guidances like 21 CFR FDA, Eurotolex Volume 4, and ICH quality guidelines. These are all available in public domain. You don't need to complete your bachelor's in pharmacy and then open these in Google and try to read and understand them. No, not necessary. They are very simple guidelines, clearly framed. You can just read them and understand. Familiarize yourself with the terminology in this guideline. So once you actually get familiarized with these terminology and guidelines, you'll be at the front end of the queue when you are actually at job search after your bachelor's, if at all you intend to work after your bachelor's. And like traditionally, when I was a student, we had this very magical question, like whether what is the right approach, whether we need to get into industry to work and gain some experience, or pursue a master's M.Pharm in India, which is more value added to your career. And many people don't get this right, to be honest. So most of them actually end up in selecting a wrong option. So if you do a bachelor's in pharmacy or a master's in pharmacy, to be honest, either way, you're not going to be a good contributor to the industry. So it doesn't matter if you actually start your career, industrial career, after B.Pharm or M.Pharm. if you want to just have an upgraded career or just have an upgraded CV, you can opt for an MPharm. But looking at the value, 2 years of industrial experience or 2 years you spend for your MPharm, I would say 2 years of your industrial experience is far more better when compared to your MPharm. Sorry. And similarly, so if you opt for an industrial career, you can have 1-2 years of industrial experience, gain knowledge. One important thing what you get from Indian companies, yeah, you may not be getting a lot of money at the start of your career in Indian pharmaceutical companies, but what you get is knowledge, which is of which you cannot even value. So, say for example, if you're working in quality assurance in an Indian-based company, you can try to understand the insights into other departments like production, quality control, regulatory affairs. Well, you'll get all this knowledge. You can interact with people easily. You'll have good networking and all. So you'll gain all this experience, valuable experience and knowledge with you. This is not going to be the same when you work for an abroad company, because it's very difficult in a abroad setup, because uh, they have people for each and every small process, and they're kept so busy that they don't get an opportunity to interact with each other. So unless you're extremely enthusiastic and you are willing to spend out of hours, working hours, you can get some insight into the work done by opposite person. So what I would say, my personal choice again, so if you have 1 or 2 years of industry experience, and then if you want to pursue masters abroad, that's a very right thing to do, and that way you can have a better chance of actually settling in a foreign country. And yeah, so like I said already, so ideal way of initiating an abroad career is to pursue masters and then secure a job. So selection of universities again based on the reviews and alumni of the university, like get into LinkedIn and see the alumni of that university, the different jobs they're actually able to get. So that indicates the success rate of the students from that university. So you can pick that university. Again, don't depend on the agencies for this information, like which university you want. So agencies are always going to put forward the university which they have more financial transactions with. That's not the right approach. Select based on the reviews. And one more thing. So if you're planning for an abroad career, soft skills are highly important. Your communication and your confidence and your CV. So these things are not actually trained in academics. So we don't get any training in bachelor's or masters, like how to communicate, how to write a good CV. No, you have to do this on your own. So these are very important skills which you need to consider. And yeah, so that's it for my presentation. And hopefully some of this information may add some value to any one of you at least who is actually planning for an abroad career. And lastly, I would like to thank your faculty for giving me this opportunity, especially Jitendra sir and my friend Satish, who is your faculty again. Jitendra sir was actually my faculty when I was studying my bachelor's in pharmacy. So I wish you all the best and good luck. If you have any queries related to abroad career, and if you want to ask any questions, you can just email me. I have added my email address to the first slide, so you can drop me an email, and I'm always happy to answer any of your questions. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.